it's the last one. This is the last video of my tarot collection. It didn't include my oracle collection, so I don't know, there's that. We could do more videos with oracle and other types of decks. I've already done my playing cards, which even that has expanded a little bit since I did it, which was probably a year ago. But this is it for tarot, and I have a lot to get through. Welcome, hi, I'm BB. This is Pure Red Velvet, and this is my 2024 tarot collection. So let's go, let's start. We have the Wildwood Tarot. I remember when I got this, it was to do a walk through the Wildwood, which I did not have the bandwidth for that year. But I was shocked when I got this in by how tiny it is. It's so small. And the reason I purchased it is that I have Celtic background. I know that this isn't the Druid tarot, which might be a little more Celtic. I don't know. I was drawn to this artwork more than the Druid, but it's so tiny, which is cool because like you can take it places. It's easy to do bigger spreads, but I don't know. I would like it to be a little bit bigger, so these awesome works of art are a little bit more, I don't want to say fleshed out, but larger. I don't know, honored to be able to see and appreciate in intricate detail, you know? So this is the Wildwood by Will Worthington, obviously. P.S. Will Worthington did the art, but Mark Ryan and John Matthews created the deck. Next is the Tarot Erotic by Jessalyn Ragus. Psychedelic and erotic collage made in San Francisco. This is an adult content warning. So psychedelic, so beautiful. I never reach for this. And it's not, I don't think it's due to the content, you know, and the subject matter. I think it's, I don't know. I think I just overlook it because there's a lot going on. I need to spend some time with this and get to know it a little bit better and see how, you know, it works for me because I really, really love it. Sometimes I think about getting rid of it and I'm like, but why? Why would I do that? I think this card is one of my favorites, and so is this one. This one's really beautiful too. Yeah, this is the Tarot Erotic. I don't think I mentioned this originally, but this is covering T through Z. So you're gonna see things throughout those letters or throughout the end of the alphabet. Another thing to note, and this is a good example, is that in my Notion, if the title of the tarot deck starts with tarot, I put it in T. I try to do the ones that start with the, not in under T. I think there's one that's in here that started with the that should have been in a different letter. And then the only exception is the Caitlyn Madison tarot because that's just called the tarot. And I feel like that's part of the title. Anyway, semantics. But this is Tarot of the 1001 Nights. And the artwork is by Leon Carré. Really pretty backs. And really gorgeous artwork. This really captures my imagination and idea of romance and fairy tales. The borders are so gorgeous too. I love the colors in this deck. Hello? Okay. I love the colors in this deck, and the borders are associated, I think, with the suits. Gosh, so beautiful. I love florals too. It's just like so romantic. This is another one that I wish was a little bit bigger, but it's still great nonetheless. And this is mass market, easy to find, low scarabeo. Love. Tarot of the 1001 Nights. Next, we have the Transformational Tarot by Arnel Ando. This is out of print. It was a gift from a very dear friend, Miss Rose Bay. It's one of her favorite decks, and so she had extra copies, and so she sent me one. It was so, so sweet. This is a really cool deck. As we all know, I'm a huge fan of collage. And this one, you know, does its thing and sets itself apart. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Jumble Dance, but it's kind of not as, I don't know, erratic. It's kind of more rooted in traditional art. And then it has some, what feels like 90s to me mixed in. I don't know when this was created. Let me see. Yeah, it was originally published in 1995. This is the 2005 publication. So this is the very special, very beautiful Transformational Tarot. The Trionfi della Luna Paradoxical. This is by Patrick Valenza, aka Deviant Moon. I think I used to have the Rose edition, but I didn't use either, and so, oops, it's upside down. So I decided to keep the classic. I felt like it was the best representation. Oh, it's really just all over the place. Okay. And I know that this is a favorite for a lot of people. I love the old world quality mixed in with the kind of dark fantasy. And I feel like the humor in this is just occurring to me, and I don't know if I've heard this said before, but I feel like the humor and the darkness and like depravity almost of this is so fitting of this time period, like of the deck itself. And I'm sure that was not by accident. I'm sure that was by design, you know? This deck really photographs very well, to boot. Really beautiful. Obviously it's a Marseille-based deck. I love the paradoxical. I'm not really into the other versions. I do think the other colorations of this particular deck are really gorgeous. It was just more a matter of, I don't know, feeling excessive to have both and not use either, you know? The Tarot of the Crystal World, this was a trade, I believe. And I was really on the fence when I first saw this. I kept going back and forth on it, and I'm so happy with this trade. There are times when I've done trades that, you know, you never know. It's a gamble. I guess purchasing a deck is a gamble as well. But it kind of reminds me of Sasarai Beto a little bit, but more, I don't know, more my style, I guess. I think Sasarai Beto is beautiful, but this is a really awesome deck. Oh, I should probably tell you who it's by. It's by Brooke Penrose. I love the cowboy quality of it. It feels very Australian, to be honest. And then you've got like the English influence, which makes sense. I don't know, is it Australian cowboy or is the influence American cowboy? But nonetheless, this is an Australian artist, and I feel it. It's really beautiful. I really think that the coloration is really unique and individual, as is the art itself. I find it really fascinating. And it's a story. It's really good world building, which is something that I really, really appreciate in tarot decks. So it's fun to see. This is Tarot of the Crystal World. Next is Tarot of the Witches by Fergus Hall. This is a mass market, and it is, I believe it's US Games. Yeah. We know I love this one. It is a pip deck. It has this great vintage quality to it, a great surrealist quality. Feels very mid-century to me. The colors are awesome. I love the choice of all of the suits, the representations of them. So the wands, the swords, the cups being these like chalices, and the pentacles. Where are the pentacles? Did I pass them all at the bottom? I think I did. Let's see. Oh yeah, the pentacles with the stars. Very cute. Just a fun, silly deck, but it doesn't feel silly when it comes to readings, you know, and its meanings. I think it's really accessible and can be a good entry into pip decks if you're not looking at Marseille placements, right? Because the placements matter. I would say like the placements can matter anyway. So you can take this and decide what you will about the placement of this and the meaning of the card due to those placements, right? Anyway, I love this saturated color. It's so great. Tyldwick Tarot 10th Anniversary Edition. I never thought when I first saw this deck that I would be interested in it. And then over the years, something changed. And when I got the opportunity to purchase the 10th Anniversary Edition, it was kind of a no-brainer. Such a special, I feel like I'm gonna say that a lot. It's so special. Really, really sad that the creator is no longer with us, but how wonderful to be able to have this legacy and the beauty of this deck. It goes so deep. It's like when there's an empty space, you're free to fill it up with emotion, and that's what this feels like to me. It's like there are these spaces created for us to be able to pour all of our thoughts and feelings into. It's literally the physical embodiment of holding space for someone. So in that way, it's really effective, and the imagery is so evocative, and it like sends you to associations and memories and ideas and imagination. Like this would be a great deck for writing prompts. Really, really awesome. That is the Tyldwick Tarot, and the creator, it doesn't say his last name in the book. It just says his first name, which is Neil. His brother went on to print this edition with this special guidebook. So thank you, Neil's brother. Tamara Tarot by Habitat. I consider this the sister deck to the Habitat Trom Tarot by the same creator. This was a Kickstarter. Oh, it's in order. Okay, hold please. It's so gorgeous. It is inspired by the art of Tamara Lempicka, who was a really prolific artist in the, I want to say the 30s. So it's very late Art Deco, a style that is near and dear to my heart. And if you look up her artworks online, they're really visually stunning and powerful. They always really show women in really powerful ways, which I love. You can see kind of the 30s hairstyles here. So beautiful. I always like the colors that this creator uses. This is collage with the aid of AI. I love this. I love vintage. If it leaned even more vintage, like in the borders and everything, like the colors of the borders, then I would, and like the font, I would be even more into it. But I think that this is a gorgeous, stunning deck. And I do intend to do a side-by-side with the Habitat Trom. I just love the art style so much. So that is the Tamara Tarot. This is a deck that, even though AI was utilized in the creation of it, it doesn't look similar to a lot of AI decks, which if you notice, they can tend to blend together and be really obvious in coloration, in style, etc. And this is much more distinct and feels much more natural, I guess, than others that I've seen. Tarot Yokai. I first saw this on In 80s Blues channel on, or not channel, but profile really, on Instagram, and had to find a copy for myself. I also am really interested in the new Yokai Tarot, but this one's really fun as well. I haven't studied Yokai or this deck very much, but I do really enjoy and appreciate kind of Eastern spiritualism, and in this case, Japanese spirits. So it'll be really fun to get familiar with them and then be able to recognize them in culture, like in media. So creepy, weird, which is kind of captures the energy of a lot of these spirits, right? Also with a sense of humor. But this is Tarot Yokai, and this is a mass market deck. I think it's a French deck. I know that I have a French deck. I think, though, what I mean to say is that I think that it's only available in France. I don't remember where I bought this. Don't quote me on that. But it is a French deck, which is why, if you haven't seen it, if you're living in the US, it could be the reason. Just to state, if I haven't done so, I think I've been pretty good. This is by Mariana Zanetta and Matthew Meyer. There are some classic images in here. So like the Fox's Wedding is not by either of these people. They created the deck, and I don't know if this is all found art or a mixture of found art and new art, but I'm sure it states in the guidebook. The Uncommon Tarot by Shaheen Miro with commentary by Teresa Reed. This one had been getting me for a long time. Anytime I saw it on someone's channel, I was so intrigued. But it does have this digital collage element to it that I don't love. Sorry, there are sirens. This is the afternoon in downtown. I don't know. You know what I think? I think that I will really love this with the right pairings, because some of these cards are really stunning, and most of them are like I can actually very much appreciate. And I think that would help cut that feeling of, I don't know, a little, it feels like cheesy when things are too digital collage. Is to have a companion deck with it to kind of cut through that. Maybe a photography deck or a found art deck, something like that. I could see this potentially looking cool with the Tiger Tarot, definitely the Seashell Oracle, you know, or the mushroom oracle, one of those, the crystal oracle. I don't have the mushroom or the crystal, but I really would like the crystal oracle. So this is the Uncommon Tarot. The Venus Morningstar Tarot. This was a Kickstarter. I did not back it. I ended up getting this on Etsy after the fact, and I'm so happy with it. I think after I saw it on, whose channel did I see this on? Oh, I can't remember. I saw a walkthrough. This is also in order, but that's fine. I'll just put it back in order later. Is this not so me? We know it is. We know it is. The art direction of this is so, so good. Like the graphic design. And I really love the imagery, like a lot. Almost more so because it feels like you can be more free with it than the Aphrodite Tarot, which this is the same creator. It's Aphrodite, I think it's called Aphrodite 333. Oh, Aphrodite Studios 333. So stunning. I do have a walkthrough, not of this deck, but I have a kind of classic art walkthrough side by side of the Naked Truth, the Aphrodite, and I forget what the third one was, and I always forget what it is. Okay, editing me will put it in, but it's a side-by-side of those three, trying to decide if I needed all three of them, and they're also different, so that's fun and exciting. Or maybe disappointing if you want to get rid of one, but they all had their own energy, you know? Okay, with a sharp and distinct departure from the Venus Morningstar, we have the Tarot del Fuego by Ricardo Cavallo, or Cavolo. This is a Fournier deck. My box is pretty beat up. And I don't know what's to say about this deck that has not already been said. It's irreverent and fun and full of life and joy and passion, right, with all the fire. And it's cartoons. I love the colors. This very much reminds me of like a tattoo parlor that I used to hang out at in my 20s in Orange, California. Like a traditional tattoo place, even though it's not the style of a traditional tattoo. It just reminds me of the people there, I guess. But this is the Tarot del Fuego. It's a little joy. It's a little cutie joy. Maybe it helps that, like, you know, the people have tattoos. Love it. My Sweet Baby Tenebrae Tarot Whispers Edition by John Mahoney. This is on Etsy, and the Whispers Edition means that it has the, oh, I put it back in order for some reason. I wonder why. It has the meanings on the cards, which is really helpful because this creator really sets himself apart on his meanings, but not entirely so. I just find that there is a departure and it's really interesting and valuable, and so I really like the writing being right on the cards. This deck is a favorite of mine. I love it so much. I've talked at length about what it reminds me of and kind of what all these images evoke for me. And I'm just a fan. I'm a huge fan. So this is Tenebrae Tarot. Vintage Christmas Tarot. I got this last year, as in the end of 2023, even though that's technically not last year, but it was about a year ago. And I adore it. I much prefer something that looks like this over like the Yuletide Tarot or the what's the one, like the holiday RWS or the Christmas RWS? It does have some repeating images just in the pages, I feel like. But most everything else feels really good. I used this as my Advent deck this year as the exercise that Kelly Bear started, which was really fun. And this was such a perfect deck. And the readings were, like, couldn't be more accurate. They were so good. So I've really enjoyed using this deck, and, you know, as I've harped on about, I'm a fan of vintage. I'm also a big fan of Christmas. So this is definitely very, like, European and American feeling, which I would not have protested it having a little bit more inclusion, or let's say a lot more inclusion. But as far as a Victorian European Christmas, it really hits the spot for me. Tarot of the Secret Forest. This is another Lo Scarabeo by Lucia Mattioli. This is a fun deck because it has a black and white side, which is super cool. They're just kind of rough sketches, like ideas of what the final image was going to look like. And then, hold please, on the other side, it has the completed image in color. That is scary. I put this in a video I made a long time ago called, I don't know what it was. I don't remember what the hashtag was, but it was like my 90s decks. I love this card. And this definitely applies, at least to me. I feel like I've seen art like this in people's homes. And actually, I think I said that in the video that I filmed about my 90s decks. But I actually got rid of this deck, and then, or I meant to get rid of it, and it was in my purgatory box, and then I decided to take it out because there wasn't really interest in it, and I felt like I needed to give it more of a chance because there are things about it that I do really love. So that is Tarot of the Secret Forest. Tarot of the Divine by Yoshi Yoshitani. I was so excited when this came out. I have the book that tells about a page-long story about, you know, the subject of the card. I love this art style. I think it's really fun and beautiful. I really like the limited color palette that it's in, and it doesn't really feel very limited, but it's very much a color palette. You know, it's not all over the place. It's definitely thoughtful and really beautiful, and this artist spent a lot of time going over fairy tales, fables, legends, deities, etc. to put this together, you know, from all across the world, which I think is really fun. I love this. It's a fun one to read for others too. But I also think even just pulling a card for yourself every so often and then reading the story, you know, taking the time to read the story is just an awesome exercise to be able to do. I know that there are decks that do that as well, but this was really cool. My OG tarot deck, the Wild Unknown Tarot. I'm in good company because I know a lot of other people purchased this as their first tarot as well. The bottom broke off. A friend of mine did that. I was so pissed. I don't know. I feel a little bit speechless about this one. I've talked about this in several videos. It's awesome. It's modern. It has animals. I think it does great like depictions of what the cards mean. And I relied on the book to read with it for years because I didn't really have an interest in memorizing. Like not that I didn't have an interest, but I didn't really do any work to memorize it. And I don't think that like if you're just a casual reader, that it's just gonna come to you, every single card is gonna be easy to memorize as far as the meanings if you're not, you know, putting a little work in. So this is the deck I read friends and family with for years and got really powerful readings with. Loved it. Vacant House Tarot. I got this from Vermilion, which is a website that offers, you know, independently produced tarot decks, and I absolutely adore it. I actually first saw it on Krista Chronicles channel, which is so funny because I wouldn't expect this kind of deck in her collection. I have I believe it's the deluxe version, so it looks a little bit different than hers. My borders are all blue, her borders were different colors, but you know, I love the girlishness of this, the creepiness, the Victorianness, but then it's like Rococo. Yeah, I don't know, maybe Victoriana was very influenced by that time period. It is like a fantasy. Like those are my favorite decks, is just the fantasy. I love it so much, and I think that's what a lot of us like. And so it's really interesting that we all have such different aesthetics, you know, when we're all looking for the same thing. But this is Vacant House Tarot. If this intrigues you, even if it's not your style, but like something about this intrigues you, I did receive 3 new tarot decks from Vermilion collection. So I will be filming a video very soon about those. I'm gonna be filming a haul and a side-by-side, I believe, for those 3 decks. So stay tuned for that and for my haul that will be coming after this video. Okay, so this is a deck that should have gone in my minis and majors. It's Zapatrax, it's Tarot du Crepuscule by Zapatrax, but I got it, I think, after I filmed that video, or maybe I forgot to include it. I can't remember. This was originally a Kickstarter that I missed, and then it, I don't know, randomly went into print like one last time and I had to get it. It's a little bit spoopy. It also reminds me of Sassorabito. It's kind of like in between this one and whichever other deck I said reminded me of Sassorabito. Oh, Tarot of the Crystal World. And it's just a little cutie majors deck. I feel like it's, you know, very autumnal with its color scheme and kind of its content as well. It has really beautiful embossed backs. It's velvety. I love it. This is a French artist who did this. Okay, I'm gonna talk about this one and then take a break because my phone is going to die, so I need to charge it. But this is the Womanhood Revisited Tarot by Francoise Zabel. This was an Etsy deck that I had originally seen on someone's channel on YouTube. I cannot remember who. Again, we have more vintage illustration. We have more Victoriana. We have maybe 20s, 30s there. And obviously women focused. I love this. And, you know, on the other side of the spectrum, we have kind of more of the mundane side of life. But, you know, again, there are all these caveats where kind of the day-to-day is interesting when it's historical, right? At least to me, it's like more interesting when it's historical. I love this one. It's so cute. And I love that, like, it says romance for the Ace of Cups, and it's the romance of bed rot with your cat. So cool. This is a really fun one to use. I need to use this one more often, actually. you know, for personal readings. I think it's really cool. These swords, the blue against the red, really reminds me of the Spolia. It's a great card. This is the Womanhood Revisited Tarot, and I think it's still available on Etsy. I'm gonna take a short break for me. It'll only be a second for you, and I'll be back with the rest of my decks. I'm back. I told you I'd be fast. This is the True Black Tarot. This is by, I always forget his name. I hate when they don't say it. It doesn't say. Cool. It doesn't say. This is obviously an indie deck. It is terrible to handle. There's a white counterpart deck to this now, and I forget the name of it. I have no interest in getting it whatsoever. But this is a fun deck. The illusion and like the visual element of this deck, kind of the magic in it, the light effect, it's hypnotizing. It's so incredible. It was such a great concept. I love the cups. Yeah, I don't know, it feels very like godly, you know? But this is the True Black. I feel like it's popular on YouTube. You've probably seen it around. Why do I want to say the creator of this deck's name is Eric? But I could be so wrong. The Tesma Tarot by Tara Cochran. I still have my little card from her. This one really captured me upon first seeing it as well. I would like to think it's very me in certain ways. Very 80s, this deck feels like. Very multicultural. Really saturated. There's a lot going on. I feel like you have to take your time with it. So impactful visually. It's like a punch in the face as far as color and art. A fiery deck for sure. This one I believe is still available, question mark? I think. This is Telesma. Pagan Cats by Magdalena Messina and Lola Eragi. This is a low Scarabeo and a winner. She's a winner. This is a favorite of mine as far as illustration style. That vintage storybook style, it just gets me every time. And then a cat on top of that, get out of here. These are amazing illustrations of cats that really show off their quirkiness and their beauty. And I love them in these kind of anthropomorphic situations sometimes, but then also in kind of domestic situations that they would be in as cats in a home, right? I think it's so sweet. I think this is the sweetest little deck. I love it. I don't love the border on the bottom, but I'm grateful it's just on the bottom. And that's that. Tarot of Ceremonial Magic, a pictorial synthesis of the 3 great pillars of magic. This is, I believe, from the 30s or 40s originally by Lon Milo Duquette. Kabbalah, astrology, Enochian magic, Goetia, the key that unlocks the secrets of all tarot decks. I have to admit, I got this, if it can open, there we go, for the vibes, my friend, for the vibes. That's not to say that I can't learn some stuff. There's a lot to learn here. It's a little over my head, but the vibes are present. I like the astrological associations on them. I like the little phrases on them. This is like the grown-up version of the Parrot Tarot. And I'm here for it. I support it. I'm holding space for it. It's very esoteric. Love me a checkerboard. You know, it's a lot, but we love her. We love her. And I purchased her specifically for the Two of Cups, which I've talked about before, because I'm gonna chase after that art that I love, you know? It's gonna happen. Sorry, I just hit the camera. And there it is. There we go. Venus in Cancer, love. That's me, my friends, that's me. This is the Outgrow Yourself Oracle and Tarot by Octa Spauman, and I included it in here because it really is a tarot, even though it acts as an oracle, and it's based off of the Thoth, and you can use it. Like, I feel like it's a complete oracle deck if you wanted to use it as such. So that is why it's in my tarot collection. And you can tell which card it is by the keyword on the bottom. I'm not familiar with Thoth keywords, so that is a little beyond me at this point because I mainly use RWS, but it's there. And then for the majors, we have the titles of the majors. Or there's like an ace. So, I mean, I could probably put it together, you know? This is an incredible, incredible deck. Just look at it. This gets a lot of love online, and it's so well-deserved. Every deck by this creator is amazing. I actually have like a little piece of art that she sent me when I ordered, I think I don't remember what that one, the Super Magic Oracle cards. It's the blue box that says Elvine on the front. I need to find that and I need to frame it, or at least I need to share it here, right? But this is the Outgrow Yourself Oracle. It's bratty, it's in your face. It's really beautiful. The William Blake Tarot of the Creative Imagination. This is the illuminated 3rd edition by Ed Buren. This one is, I mean, oops, my box just fell over. It's really wild. It's kind of wild. Oh, I think it's in order. So maybe let's keep it that way for the moment. It's really gorgeous and weird. And I don't know, intriguing, really fascinating and intriguing. So it's something that I'm really happy to have and I look forward to using. I know that Joniki has sang the praises of this deck before. So gorgeous, like so cool. The art gets a little, I don't know, off base for me, off base as far as what I'm usually drawn to, but I think within the context of all of this, it works. I think that all of the border and everything makes it work a little bit better for me. I really like the majors in this deck. It's so awesome. I love all these choices that we have. Oh, I love this card. You know, like I love that people are so dedicated to creating 78 cards that are full of meaning and things for us to still be able to discover. I love the borders. I never did that for the love of borders VR. Maybe I should. So that is the William Blake Tarot. Silicon Dawn. This is by Egypt Urnash. I also just featured this recently. I don't remember what video it was for. It's also too small for my liking. This was a mass market low Scarabeo deck. It is no longer in print. It's very sci-fi, cyberpunky, very trans-inclusive, like gender fluid, gender non-conforming. Looks like a movie or a TV show I'd love to watch, a book I'd love to read, talk about world building. It does a lot of its own thing, a lot. So this is one that I have not gone off book, as they say, in a completely different industry than this. There are a lot of these black cards. They're embossed, so you can see what they have on them in the right light. And then also some of the color cards are embossed. I don't know if you can see. Sometimes they have kind of extra things going on in the card. This is a lovely deck. I wish it would come back in, I was gonna say in stock, but I mean in print. I've been doing that a lot lately because I talk about things being in stock at work. We should start a campaign or something for this to be reprinted because it's wonderful. My beloved Tiger Tarot, we love her. So it has the Soothsayer as an extra court card, and it has the Suit of Eyes. I don't know if that's an extra suit or if it's in place of the Pentacles. I got in touch with a curator of an art exhibition, which was this art exhibit, to purchase this deck. That's how everyone had to go about buying the deck. Reminds me of a very specific place and time, kind of early 2000s for me, and fashion, amongst other things. I have a video about this deck. If you want to watch it, I will try to link it. I don't know why I'm showing you every single card, but this is the Tiger Tarot. A really gorgeous, very specific deck. I tend to like that, right? I tend to like these specific vision decks, but a favorite of mine. A similarly beautiful and fantastic tarot deck called The Tarot by Caitlyn Madison. This is kind of rock star 70s, big cards, right? Has 80s punk, new wave elements too, maybe some 90s fashion moments in here, maybe some 60s rock moments. It's definitely pop culture and fashion influenced. It's not always the best when it comes to like astrological association. I don't know if those associations were just personal for the creator or what. I also wish it came with a guidebook, but really cool nonetheless. Psychedelic. I should start pairing this. I feel like this would be fun to find good pairs for, you know? That is The Tarot by Caitlyn Madison. Okay, another Aphrodite Studios 333. Natasha Fromm is the artist or the designer that did this deck because the art is found art. This is the Tarot of Aphrodite 2nd edition. I did have the 1st edition and decided to pass that one along and keep this one. It's in order for my walkthrough, so we'll just go through a few. Very pink, very lovey. I do like the smaller borders on this one. Just a soft, beautiful deck that is based on the Aphrodite archetype. I know she was a goddess, but I feel like archetype is broader, like what she represents is broader than just, you know, who she was in Greek mythology. It's kind of expanded in all these years. Maybe not, maybe it hasn't. Maybe it's just as simple as love and romance, but the goddess Aphrodite. Love that one. Tarot of Marrakech by Caitlyn and Valadier. I do not know how to say those words, those names. This was passed on to me from Anna at Astral Lady Tarot. I love this deck. Another mid-century gem. I mean, that's what it feels like. When was this first published? This one was published in 2010. But I promise you, the art is older. I do not know. If the person who made this, I need to look that up. If the person who made this drew these figures in 2010, I will be shocked. They look so vintage, it's so good. Again, with these color stories, get out of here. I love that. I love that tower. Yeah, this one's really special too. So good. I know why she passed it on though. Like, I know she likes to keep her collection to a certain use and a certain number, and I get that like this didn't fit into that practice or she didn't connect with it, but and it's to my benefit, right? This is the Tarot de Marrakech. Tarot Eros by Usi. Ooh, I almost opened it from this side. Woo! Close call. I adore this deck. Anything by Usi is very luxurious and buttery and fun. This is the most irreverent, cheeky, cute little Marseille that I've ever seen. I mean, not the cutest Marseille, because there are many cute Marseille decks out there. Trust me, I know. But I love that fool. I love when the fool has a kitty instead of a dog. I love dogs. I love dogs. But this is, yes, very irreverent, very naughty, very childish in certain ways, right? Like it's not the most mature. We're going for the potty jokes, people. But it's so fun. I love taking a classic style and making it so fun and irreverent. It also comes with the moon phases, which is really cute too. And then these are the extra cards and title cards. So beautiful. It's from 2017. I believe it is out of print. This is Tarot Eros. Okay, I'm racing against the light, but I'm gonna keep going as long as I can. This is Tarot Obscuro by Lada Glibotskaya. Love this. This just came out last year, 2024. This was a Kickstarter. I didn't think I needed to back it, and then I quickly realized I was mistaken. And so after the Kickstarter was over, I was able to purchase it off of, I believe, the website. I believe there's a website. The coloration and the surreal aspect, I thought that it was going to be a little too dark, but it's kind of not. It's just kind of like bizarre and introspective and quiet, and there's this theatrical element to it. There's this Shakespearean element to it. Like it feels very King Lear, Macbeth type of thing, right? I don't know. Or is anyone else getting that? Because like there's this medieval pointy spiky aspect. I love it. I think it's so stunning. I've seen many videos about this deck and I'm very happy that it's getting its flowers. So this is the Tarot Obscuro, or Obscuro Tarot. I don't know, however you want to read that. Of course, Tarot is Color by Ethel Colquhoun. It's huge. It's miraculous. It's here to stay. It has the Thoth titles. I think they're Thoth titles. I've looked it up before. Like the Lord of Unstable Effort, the Lord of Pleasure, 6 of Cups, the Root of the Powers of Air, Ace of Swords, the Lord of Illusionary Success, 7 of Cups, etc. This is mesmerizing, these cards. Again, you hear me say that I love the colors, and I think that color is something that is so psychological, and not just that, like physiological. So yeah, I think that we're all really attracted to certain color combinations, and in this case, movement of color. It's really impactful, I think. So that it's a common phrase that you hear me say for that reason. So this is Tarot as Color. I adore her. She's gorgeous. I feel like the Victorian romantic tarot is like my high school sweetheart. That's what this is to me. This is, I believe, the 4th edition with the cold stamping. She's my baby. This one's my baby. And nothing's ever gonna happen to her, and she's always gonna be here, and I love her so much. I love the distinct smell. I don't know, this just feels like home to me. Maybe because I received this deck at a really poignant time in my life, and I was using tarot a lot. It was when I first started my channel. I don't know, I think there's a lot of reasons, but this is by Baba Studios, designed by Karen Mahoney, illustrated by Alex Ukolov, and I just love her. These are manipulated found art. Everybody knows Baba. Everybody knows Baba Studios, right? This is the Victorian romantic. Okay, Tarot de Carletides, another Fournier deck. I adore this, like, in theory, but I never pick it up, and I don't have the heart to let it go. I really don't. I just think it's so sweet. I need to use this more often. You're gonna hear me say that. I just did a end of year tarot tag with my friend Meg, and we both spoke about how 2024, sorry for the honking or the traffic, wasn't a great year tarot wise for us. And I'd like to use that as the excuse, but like, would this be the one I pick up all the time? I really adore this as I'm looking at it. I wish it was a little bit bigger. But it's so sweet. And so many people that I love to watch on YouTube talk about how much they love using this deck. So no, maybe it hasn't had its time, you know, its golden age with me yet, but it's not going anywhere, you know? So this is Tarot de Carletides. Does it say who the artist is? I don't think it tends to do that on Fournier decks. Maybe in the guidebook. Okay, the Tapestry Tarot. I got this not in a box. I think these were kind of the last ones left, and the publisher was trying to get rid of them. This is photographs of fabric dolls that are a little bit freaky. And my great-grandmother made a lot of things, but among those things, she made a doll, and it doesn't look as creepy as this, I think, but other people have told me it kind of creeps them out. And for that reason, not the creepiness, but the fabric, especially like the silks and things like that, reminds me of this doll that she made. I keep it in a closet. I don't keep it out. But anyway, I just think this is fantastic and weird. And I think the first time I saw it was on Danny Mystic's channel. And it was published by US Games, but I do not believe it is in print anymore. So this is the Tapestry Tarot. There is a French version, so you might be able to find that version. Yeah, you're welcome. It's creepy. Okay, I have 5 more and it's getting dark. I really don't want to have to turn on the lamp in front of me. I'm facing windows and that lamp is like really warm. I don't like that lighting, but I will if I have to. I'm trying so hard. This is the one that I forgot to put in the H's. It's the Herb Crafters. Ooh, why did I say herb? Weird, oh my gosh. The Herb Crafters. And I mean, what is there to say about this one? It's stunning. And we know I love food illustration, so why would plant illustration be much different, especially in this context, with how we use plants as humans, right? I've heard that this deck is magical in use. I have not used it, not once. I have not done anything with it. It's still in the order that it came in, which it looks like it's numerical, not by suit. And I'll get there. It just hasn't been its time. Like I was saying earlier, that 2024 was not the time. Maybe 2025 is. We love her though. I don't know why all my decks are girls today, but they are. So that is the Herb Crafters Tarot. It was written by Letitia Guthrie and the artwork is by Joanna Powell Colbert. Okay, I turned that lamp on and it's still, I don't think, gonna buy us a ton of time, so I am glad I only have 4 to go. This is Tarot by the Neon Light by Chain Assembly. They've done multiple Kickstarters, and there's a card stuck in the bottom. And this one I think is my favorite. It is neon. It is desert. It is Vegas. I think that some of the designs for the cards are pretty cool, pretty genius, pretty entertaining. This is a fun deck. If I go to Vegas next, I think I should bring this with me. It also feels kind of Mardi Gras, you know? Kind of New Orleans. I'm really sorry about the sirens. I hope that if you're in the LA area, speaking of sirens, that you are doing okay. And your family, friends, loved ones, neighbors, pets, wildlife near you are also doing okay. This kind of looks like a toilet, but it's supposed to be a throne. This is, sorry to hijack my narrative about this deck, but it's pretty straightforward. No, it's fun, it's cute. This is the Tarot by the Neon Light. And if you didn't know, there is a neon museum, like a neon sign museum in Vegas that you can go see all of the old neon signs for a lot of the hotels and other establishments from, you know, that have been retired. And it's very cool and fun, and it's at an old hotel. It no longer exists as a hotel, but it's called La Concha, and it was also an architectural feat in and of itself because it's shaped like a shell. It's just, look it up. It's very cool. Next is Tarot Emblemata, another favorite of mine. Ew, hair. has a seal as well. This is by Urania Press. This was a Kickstarter. It is independent. I don't think it's in print, but a lot of times when Urania Press does Kickstarters, they will do, hold on. They will offer their old decks with it, which is really cool. I like when creators do that. So this is, I think, symbols and images, like emblems from, I think, the Renaissance. Yes, Renaissance emblems. And they are being assigned to a tarot card. They have obviously the title of the card and then a slogan almost in Latin and then in English. I also have the companion book with this, and I really adore this deck. I think it's very cool. I think it's really fun to use. I think it's user-friendly, you know, it's not difficult. And this kind of quenched that thirst of, like I said in a previous video, loving gold and black, but not just feeling kind of monotonous with it. And this isn't that, because this isn't the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery. Are we good on lighting? Yeah, we're okay. Yeah, so I really recommend this deck. And then it also came in like a color edition that looks nothing like this, but has the same emblems. I don't know, I think I'd have to see that in person, but online and seeing it through videos, I'm not really, and like photos, I'm not a super fan of the color one as much as I love this black one. Such a great deck. This is my To the Moon and Back tarot. I got this on Etsy, and it used to be my work tarot deck. I used to pull, oh, there, hello, okay. I used to pull a few cards a day at work just to see how my day was gonna go. It was pretty fun, but then I found that I was really missing having it at home, and I think that was the reason why I didn't include it in my minis and majors video. Oh geez. Is because it was at work. So I forgot that I had it when I was going through my decks. This obviously, as you can see, is a collage deck. It's a little fun sweetheart of a deck. It looks analog collage. And I don't know, it's just quirky and another deck that's really easy to use. It has some kind of directional cards at the end. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay, so it has several cards at the end that tell you kind of short meanings, which I like to reference sometimes. They must have fallen because they are all over the place. So that is To the Moon and Back tarot. Lastly, this could be considered an oracle. It says oracle, but it's also a tarot. So the reason why this, and like I said, Outgrow Yourself, were in this list is because I organize my Notion by tags, and these are both tagged tarot and oracle, because it's another one of those that can do it all. I don't know how many cards this is. I don't know if it has 78 cards. I should probably look at that. But I really need to use this more often too. I think I was housing it with my oracles, and that, no, reverse that. I was housing it with my tarot, and I think that was the problem. I think I need to house it with my oracle and use it more often as an oracle because it's really cool and I don't know it as a tarot. So apparently I think the secret is, and it's not a secret, I think the story is that the first group of cards is the major arcana, I believe. Yes. And then I don't remember if the other cards are also associated with the tarot. I don't remember. Okay, there are 64 cards. I really need to read this book. It was on my list. I had a list of actually, I think it still exists somewhere. A list of guidebooks I want to read in their entirety. And this is on there. But super common deck used to be called Secret Dakini, I think. It's by Nick Douglas and Penny Slinger, authors of Sexual Secrets, and it's a gem. I think I take this one for granted a little bit. I think I forget how good this is. So I need to keep this in mind. But that's everything. That's all the tarot. I mean, you're not seeing the haul that I've gotten in the end of the year around the holidays, but that's going to be its own video, and I'm considering those 2025 decks anyway, not 2024. So thank you for joining me. It's like nighttime. I apologize. Thanks for being curious. Thanks for being here, and thanks for being my friend. And my mom's coming. I gotta go.